Robert Downey Jr. is back in the Marvel Cinematic Universe playing Victor Von Doom. Let's talk about it. So welcome to an emergency video for LewisFilms Plus. I really needed to talk about this today. I could not wait till Monday's video. This is really exciting news, and if you couldn't tell by the intro, I am really gassed. At a point where the MCU seemed like it was on the downfall, at a time where the MCU really felt like it was dying, like it wasn't the best, they have pulled out the best piece of news they possibly could have. Now, my first reaction to this is, of course, this is awesome. Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe to play Doctor Doom. However, there is one thing I will point out. This is very clearly a PR marketing move, and it's never been more obvious. It almost feels desperate from Marvel Studios to bring back probably the MCU's most famous actor, probably even one of the most famous superhero actors, if not the most famous superhero actor of all time, to play another character. It seems very desperate on behalf of Marvel Studios, and I can very much see why they brought him back. And there will be a lot of major fans out there that maybe wanted someone like Bryan Cranston to play Doctor Doom at some point, saying, well, Robert Downey Jr. is great and all, but we almost feel like you've cast him just because the MCU is kind of going downhill. And it's not like Kevin Feige and everyone at Marvel Studios doesn't know this, because they literally made a joke about it in Deadpool and Wolverine, basically saying, hey, the MCU is, you know, not at the best right now. So I could totally see why people will say, okay, this is definitely a marketing move. This is definitely something that the MCU is trying to clamor at to get fans back into the pitch, to get fans excited for these movies again. Another thing that people will say, and I promise we're going to get to the positives in just a second, is that Kang has had all of this build-up. As we know, Avengers 5 was meant to be called Kang Dynasty. It is now Avengers Doomsday. This movie was meant to have a lot of build-up with Kang, from Quantumania to Loki Season 1 and Season 2, everything building up Kang and his variants. It was meant to be this massive culmination for the next 3 phases of the MCU, eventually leading into Secret Wars, and I imagine Kang was kind of filling in the role of Doctor Doom from the comics. I imagine that's the direction they were going in, with Kang Dynasty connecting it to Secret Wars, and I imagine they were going to go to Battleworld, and Kang was going to be a massive part of that. However, after all the controversy with Jonathan Majors, and all the controversy surrounding Ant-Man Quantumania, and all of the bad reviews that Quantumania ended up having, they have ultimately decided to replace Kang and go with Victor Von Doom. Now, the issue with this is that Doctor Doom is one of those villains, just like Thanos, just like Kang, that would need a little bit more build-up. Like, with the amount of characters that are going to be appearing in both of these films, including the Fantastic Four, as Kevin Feige actually confirmed as well, there's probably not going to be a lot of screen time for a lot of development for this character on screen if Avengers 5 is his first appearance. That might be another downside. We know MCU is very good at building up its characters long term. They did this with Thanos, obviously Iron Man, Captain America, and pretty much all of the characters leading up to Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, which is what made those movies feel so conclusive and feel so alive. So that is another downside. So all the odds seem stacked against them, but let's look at the positives. The first positive is that if you are going to have a lot of characters in 2 of the biggest Avengers movies to ever have been made, of course you're going to need the 2 directors who directed the previous 2 Avengers movies, which looked like they were going to be the biggest 2 Avengers movies ever made. Of course, Anthony and Joe Russo. If anyone can handle Avengers Doomsday, Avengers Secret Wars, it is of course going to be these 2. These guys have proven it 1, 2, even 3 times if you count Civil War as well, that they can handle multiple character arcs, multiple characters at the same time, and I think they're going to do an absolutely fantastic job. They even go on to allude that Doctor Doom, Secret Wars, that was the comic book story that they grew up on as a kid, and they've always wanted to tell the story on the big screen. So if that doesn't scream some kind of positive, then I don't know what does. And of course, another major positive, even though some people will take it as a negative, is that Robert Downey Jr. is literally playing one of the most influential, complex, and diverse villains in comic book history. Now, yes, people, like I mentioned, will say, oh, well, this is just a PR stunt. Well, even if it's a PR stunt, who else would you want other than RDJ himself to play this villain? Robert Downey Jr. is a generational talent, definitely one of the best actors of the 21st century, one of the best actors of his time, and, you know, if you're going to bring anyone back who played a hero or played someone in the MCU before, it's going to be Robert Downey Jr. And I don't doubt that RDJ will do an absolutely masterful performance in this role. However, everyone is going to be asking the question, since Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing Victor Von Doom, and as we know, Robert Downey Jr. played Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, in the MCU, does this mean this Doctor Doom is going to be a part of the MCU, or will he be a variant? There's a very big likelihood that this will be a variant. This Doctor Doom probably won't be a part of the MCU, and in my opinion, or at least my theory, I think RDJ's Doctor Doom will probably be from the same universe as the Fantastic Four. We know the Fantastic Four will not be a part of the main timeline for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In fact, it will be a variant timeline. A timeline where certain characters, like maybe some of the Avengers, won't even exist, and they will be a part of their own separate universe. And I reckon Victor Von Doom will be from this universe, and that might be how they tie him in to Avengers Secret Wars and Avengers Doomsday. And as we know, like I mentioned, Kevin Feige also said that the Fantastic Four, Pedro Pascal, the whole cast, will be showing up in both Avengers movies as well. So we're going to be getting the Fantastic Four in their own movie, setting them up as characters, and then appearing in the two Avengers movies straight afterwards. And I don't doubt that there'll be some of the main characters in those films as well. So my theory is that RDJ's Victor Von Doom will come from the Fantastic Four universe. Now, the question that people will have is, does this mean that RDJ is playing a variant of Tony Stark, or is he just Doctor Doom, who somehow looks like Tony Stark? Now, we know there is a version of Tony from the comics that actually becomes Doctor Doom, so there is a possibility that that might be the story they go with, but either way, this is absolutely awesome. I cannot wait to see Avengers Doomsday. Bear in mind, it only comes out in 2 years, which is really, really strange. It feels like it should be further away. They've got a lot of work on their hands, and I'm really hoping they can pull it off. I will not be surprised, by the way, if these movies are delayed, because everything seems like it's coming so thick and fast. But with Fantastic Four shooting next week, actually, on Monday or Tuesday, I can't exactly remember. It's a lot of information that has come out. But either way, it's shooting next week. So things are definitely in motion. But either way, thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about RDJ coming back to play Tony Stark? I want to hear all your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care and peace.